You're listening to The Breakfast Show with Ben and Liam. They're on your radio, and that's why you can't see them. So stay for a while, they're gonna make you smile. And whatever you do, don't touch that dial. You're feeling fine, waking up to the sunshine with Ben and Liam.
G'day there, podcaster.
Welcome to the Recap All Around Australia podcast. Bit of fun in here, just all the sort of fun we had throughout the week. Repackaged and repurposed for our Sunday national show. Not hiding that fact.
It's all the best bits.
Yeah. Not as picked by us. We gave up on that a long time ago. It used to be a thing you'd sort of go, no, I reckon that was better. No, that's better.
So who picks it?
I think just the boss. Realistically, I think the producers sort of pick it, and then the boss says nah, and then they work it out together.
This is all the best bits as picked by our boss man Ben.
Enjoy. Ben, my fiancée Sarah, she's a nurse, does awesome work. Got a lot of respect and time for those people, especially when they're pulling like 3 night shifts in a row, which is what she's been doing this week. So you're starting at like 9 and finishing at like 7 in the morning. So it's a hell of a shift. But because of that, our sort of sleeping schedules are off kilter. We're sort of out of whack a little bit. And I've sort of been weirdly being able to make more noise in the morning when I wake up. I can listen to some music and stuff because normally I have to sneak around and get ready. But she's still at work by the time I'm waking up to go to work. And last night I'm in bed. From downstairs, I hear a noise. And it was enough of a bang to wake me up. And it's 2 a.m. Didn't sound right.
Was it a natural sound?
Wasn't a natural sound. And then I was like, was I dreaming that? Or did I, it was just when you just you wake up, there's something's happening. And then I felt like I heard like pots and pans sort of, that sort of sound. I'm like, I'm being robbed. So
and they're cooking a dinner first.
Yeah. Oh no, they're putting the slow cooker on before they leave to make some sort of exotic curry with some of the basil leaves I've got in the cupboard. And so, this, Ben, I keep a hammer under my bed. We've all got weapons under the bed, right? And it was the first time I'd grabbed the hammer.
Oh, you went for the hammer?
Went for the hammer.
You must have been pretty on high alert.
Literally, I was like,
hammer.
I don't know who's in the house.
Yeah.
And obviously she just finished early at work. And
yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I did accidentally hit it with the hammer. No, I'm joking. I got it's that scary moment, when you're walking downstairs,
with a hammer in your hands.
With your hammer, and your fiancé is like, "What are you doing?" And no, but I just thought I had to check the sound out.
Yeah.
13, 24, 10. What was the noise? Was it, maybe just your partner got home early from work. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe a raccoon got into you. Do we have raccoons here?
I think we have raccoons.
Maybe you lived in America at the time and a raccoon got into your supplies. 13, 24, 10.
What was the noise, Claire?
So we were asleep and it was 2:00 in the morning, and then we hear these banging type noises downstairs. Had no idea what it was. I'm like to my partner, go and check it out. He's like, no way. So I called my dad.
Yeah.
For real? Oh, how emasculating to your partner as well.
No, he's like, I'm not going down there. There's someone downstairs.
So you called your dad?
Yeah, I did. He came around with a golf stick, bless him.
What music was your dad listening to on the drive to your house with his golf club in the back to pump himself up? Do you reckon it was like a bit of Metallica or something?
That's such
Probably
dad energy,
not,
getting a call at 2 a.m. from your daughter saying, I've heard a noise, can you come
I'm on it. Me and the 9 iron are 5 minutes away. Let's go.
So what was the noise in the end?
So it was all of our electricals in the house. So someone had actually stolen the whatever limits the power into the house out of the block for the unit.
Yeah.
So it was all of the electrical things in the house blowing. So every light globe and the fridge and everything.
You'd more think there's a possession in the house if all the bulbs are going.
Yeah,
Stranger
to be honest,
Things.
you might have even been more scared if you went downstairs and then you saw the lights just exploding all over the place.
And your dad's waving his golf club around.
Come here, spirit! Be gone!
Kylie, what was the noise?
Many years ago, my mum woke up in the middle of the night to a noise at their front bedroom window, and she was laying in bed and she could hear the guys breathing and she could see their shadows. She thought there was about 3 guys standing on their front porch.
No.
So she didn't wake my dad up because she knew he would go out. So she just laid quietly in bed. They were in their 50s.
Yeah.
And then she heard a noise. We had a workshop next door, a business.
Yeah.
And she heard a noise there and she thought, I'm not going to tell him. So, and then within about 2 hours, all the police were in our local town because the guys had actually broken into our workshop, stolen acetylene bottles, gas bottles, walked them up the street to our local bank, and robbed the bank vault.
They were bank robbers, like old school,
Yeah.
like old bank robbers with a vault and everything.
So, yeah, oh, geez. And if your dad came out there, they would have had, the masks
They
on.
probably would have had weapons as well. That was definitely the right thing to do.
They don't know, And the story was that they'd just been released from prison in that era, so that was a different world.
You know
wasn't
what?
it?
You probably made the right call there because, some of the dad stories we've just heard, he probably would have had the golf club and it could have ended poorly. One last one. We'll make it quick. Jackie, what did the noise turn out to be?
Yeah, I was in my bed one night and I heard this almighty, what sounded like an explosion. I heard the glass. I heard the metal searing through. So I opened my bedroom door and there was a car in the middle of my house.
A car
went through the front of your house?
Yeah, my whole front of my house is like a cathedral. It's all glass. And
Whoa!
there was a car
Was the person okay in the car?
Yeah, look, there was 3 people that had actually done a bit of a runner.
What did you do in that situation when a car's come through into your house and there's 3 people sitting there? What do you do in that situation?
You offer them a cup of tea? Or?
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, they had fled.
Oh, they fled.
So
Because they were blind,
Right, yeah.
obviously.
I
Yeah.
was shocked, so I went running down the road after them, and
What were you going to do, Jackie?
You come back here. Jackie, that is an insane story.
That is. Thank you very much for sharing.
Look, tension runs pretty high on airplanes at the best of times, Ben, but a lot of tension on my flight last night because a fight broke out.
Like a legit fight.
No fists were thrown,
Okay.
but the flight attendants had to separate it. Like it was...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know, and it happened 3 seats in front of me. And it's like that thing where everyone else is like taking their headphones off and they're looking like, oh my God, what's happening?
So where were the people that were fighting? Like, where were they sitting in relation to each other?
So it was a woman
Yeah.
who was having a crack at a man who was very tall. He was a big man, and he's put his seat back, which is you're allowed
During the flight?
during the flight.
Okay.
You're allowed to put your seat back.
It's annoying, but you are, yes.
You are allowed to.
I wouldn't
And
start a
then
fight over it.
She started punching the back of his seat.
No.
Punching the back of his seat and saying, "Well, put your seat up. It's only a short flight. What are you doing?"
Oh, my God.
And then I saw it sort of bubbling away because it happened a couple of times, and I think he put his seat up and then he put it back down, and then she had another crack.
He's taunting her.
And then he was wearing like a Queenslander, like Maroon's shirt, and he just fired off.
Yeah.
Like like an angry dad when a dad's just fed up.
Yeah.
That was him. He's going, "No, I'm not having it. People are inconsiderate." And like they were all like, please. I was just trying to calm him down.
Yeah.
It was like, I was over for a funeral and people were like, "No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it." And guess
I was
what?
at a funeral. I want to put my seat back. Two things don't correlate.
I know. And then like literally everyone, basically bar the pilot, everyone who was working on the flight, like came over and they were like just trying to calm the situation down.
Did they separate them?
Yeah, they had to move them on separate sides of the plane.
Wow.
Why do we do this? Where did you see a fight? Fight. Like, obviously, don't call up and say, like a pub.
Yeah, like a nightclub.
Yeah, because that happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, because like something on a plane, or maybe like the cinema, like at a movie,
Yeah.
like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like something where you just go, oh.
Somewhere you don't want to see one.
Yeah.
You don't want to see one anywhere, but somewhere there shouldn't be one.
Sue, where did you see a fight?
Hi, Ben and Liam. At my girlfriend's mother's funeral.
Girlfriend's
Not at a
mother's
funeral. Yeah, don't fight at a funeral of all places.
What happened, Sue? Why did it kick off?
Just after the service, there was a bit of chat between one of the granddaughters and one of the daughters-in-law about some jewellery, and it all kicked off from there. Didn't even make it to the wake to have a drink.
Oh, come on. No. Leave the wheel chat until at least
Just go on.
a couple of days after.
Let it sink in.
Yeah.
Digest the
Not
wake
good.
food first.
Not good at all. So was it like a proper fight or was it just an argument?
Yeah, no, proper fight. Hair pulling, punching, scratching, biting.
Just with really
Full on.
sad music in the background. Coldplay's Fixie's being played over this massive brawl. Karen, where did you see a fight?
At a pony club camp between 2 mothers.
Pony Club.
Pony Club.
Yeah, wouldn't have had the Pony Club mums down as brawlers.
What caused the fight?
sharing a pony. And mother didn't think the child should be on it, so they went at it. And my 16-year-old son pulled them apart and stood between them until help arrived to send them in their opposite direction in front of about 50 kids.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, Suzanne, you're driving last year's Range Rover. Cheap.
A dating expert has revealed the top 3 pickup lines people are successfully using online. Now, Liam, you and I have been in committed relationships now for quite a while, so it's been a while
Sort
since...
of 5+ years for me, and then,
7+ for me.
Yeah, so look, we're out of the game,
Yeah,
dog.
been a while since we've been on that dating scene. But I've read these lines, and I think they're rubbish.
But these are the top lines.
These are the top
This is
lines.
what the internet's saying you should use.
They're not funny. I think, first of all, they've got to be funny.
Well, do they? Or is it not, is it better to just come in casually?
I think, to me, these 3 lines scream of someone who's like a good-looking person using them, and then the other person going like, oh, that's kind of cool. But they wouldn't work if you and I used them.
You'd have to be like really good. You'd have to have like piercing blue eyes and, really thick hair.
Like this. Hey, trouble.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work.
Because the article goes on to explain, hey, trouble, because if it's a guy using it to a girl, the girl might think that that's flattering because she might actually think she's trouble. So therefore she will go, oh, I am trouble.
I'm trouble.
I am trouble.
I could really mess him up. I'm a bit of trouble over here.
That's what it reckons.
Hey, trouble. Could you imagine?
Could you imagine using that? The audacity.
Walking
the
over to someone
audacity
at
to
nightclub
write,
going,
hey, trouble.
Hey, trouble, can I buy you a drink? You wouldn't be able to keep a straight face.
It seems like, I don't like it. This one here, number 2. You seem like my kind of girl.
It's just cringy.
Gross.
Sort of like, ugh.
You seem like my kind of girl.
You seem like my kind of girl.
I don't like
do
it.
you? Cool. Well,
Get
I'm
out
not.
of here. Yeah.
I'm not. So,
Drink in the face.
see ya.
Number 3. You look like my future ex-wife.
That's got to be a joke. What do you think, Abby, in the newsroom? Do you think any of those would? I mean, you're sort of single at the moment. Someone might approach you. Do you think if someone said any of those 3, would they have any luck? Do you think?
All those 3 have been said to me.
What?
Yes.
Someone said to you, "Hey, trouble."
Yeah. Well, I am trouble, so let's see. It
works.
But yeah, anyone who you look like my future. Yeah, it's old and it's been done and it's not funny.
Yeah. Well, it's different as well. I mean, in person and then on Tinder, I think people, sometimes they can get a little cheekier. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I've told you about this before, Ben, but this one sort of stood out to me back in my Tinder days. This young lady said, you can call me Dumbledore because I'm the headmaster. And we're getting married next year. No, I'm obviously joking. That didn't go anywhere.
See, that's to me already, that's like a funnier pickup line. At least that's funny.
Yeah, to be fair, it's stuck in my head. Years later, I'm what?
You're still
As
living that
if.
fantasy out in your head.
Can you wear the beard? I was in Byron over the weekend, Ben, and one of my friends introduced me to his mate, Richie. So he said, this is Richie, this is who we're meeting up with, yada, yada. And then he left us, walked off to get a beer. So I was just talking to this sort of mutual friend. And I was making small talk with this guy and asking him, what he'd been up to that day. And he said, I've just been out for a surf. And I began telling him about my recent trip to Bali and, how I went surfing over there and, mentioned how good the swell was. And then I noticed all these people sort of started coming up and, looking at him a bit weird. And then people started getting photos with this guy.
Kelly Slater.
It wasn't Kelly Slater, but I was, starting to click, okay, maybe this
is a big deal.
guy is known for his surfing or I don't know. I later found out I was talking to Richie Vasilik, pro big wave surfer, bra boy, and first ever Australian in the UFC.
What?
This guy's carving up 70-foot waves.
What's his name? Richie Vass.
Richie Vass, with nothing but coral underneath him. And I was telling him about my little hired foam board experience whilst I was surfing around.
He's a mean looking dude.
He's honestly
was he lovely?
Oh, he was a legend.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I wouldn't know Richie Vass. I didn't know who that was until you told me about him.
I feel like if you're from that, like if you're from Aruba, or if you're like a surfing person, you would know. But that's very much not us.
Yeah.
13, 24, 10. You didn't realise they were a celebrity.
Katie, you didn't realise they were a celebrity.
No, I didn't. I was walking down the streets of London, and this runner, he ran into me, and he looked me up and down rudely, and I said to him, "Get stuffed, mate."
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I was surrounded by a whole bunch of security and paparazzi, and I realised, that's newly elected British Prime Minister David Cameron.
David Cameron ran into you. They would have thought you were a terrorist. You're lucky you weren't zip-tied and thrown into a van for questioning.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice one.
Thanks for your call, Katie.
Angela joins us now, and you didn't realise they were a celebrity.
No. We were away in 2010. We'd gone to Disneyland in America with the children. My daughter was about 19 at the time.
Yeah.
And my son was about 15. And my daughter's always been, she's in the music industry now, but she was heavily into her music back then. And so we were walking through, and suddenly both of my children darted into this dark, dingy corner of Disneyland to speak to some man who was holding his two young children, covered in tattoos. Yeah. It turned out to be Travis Barker. And Alexandra, my daughter, had recognised him by his tattoos, and so we have a photographic proof that it was actually him.
I mean, obviously Travis Barker, huge from Blink, but now even bigger. Now he's had his resurgence. He's married into the Kardashian family. Steve joins us now. You didn't realise they were a celebrity?
No, my wife and I were in an award ceremony and got all dressed up and got in the lift to go down to it. And there were a group of people in the lift as we got in, and a lady in there just started talking to us and said, you both look very nice tonight. Where are you off to? And just told her what we were doing and said, what are you guys up to? Just going out for dinner. My wife was very quiet in the corner of the lift, really not saying much. And then, we got down to the ground floor and they got out and, have a good night and all that. And said to my wife, they were nice. And she goes, "You know who that was?" And I said, "No." She goes, "That was Julie Andrews." And I went, "Oh, no, that's Harry Potter."
Just the sound of music.
Wow.
Julie Andrews is a iconic
royalty.
Figure. For sure.
Yeah, it's probably lucky I didn't know, because I might have broken out into that song.
Done a bit of Edelweiss.
Dyson V11.
Yep, it's expensive.
Very expensive.
Kind of annoys me as well how people go, it makes vacuuming fun.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does.
It's just a vacuum. I remember when I first moved in with my now fiancée Sarah, all she was talking about was just the V11, the V11, the V11. And I was like, we cannot justify spending that amount of money on something that sucks up dirt out of the carpet. But I finally broke, and when we moved in together, in one of the rooms, I had a lot of balloons, and I had the Dyson V11 with a ribbon around it, and it was like the best day of her life.
Yeah. You know, there's a V15 now?
Well, I'm so far behind.
There's a V15.
I thought the V11 was like the cutting edge of vacuuming technology.
It was, but look,
what is the V15 going to set you back? 20 grand? What is that?
There's a warning that it rips your carpet out.
Yeah, wow, it can suck the soul out of people walking past you.
So Dyson is a product. The Dyson vacuum is a product that gets people very excited.
I would say Dyson's the brand name is almost stronger than like Apple at the moment. Like it's just people just are obsessed with the products, aren't they?
So I bought one about 12 months ago, and it's great.
A V what?
A V11.
Yeah, right.
And look, I think it's a great product. It has been up until yesterday. I was doing some vacuum cleaning and it stopped working. And on it's got literally an LCD screen, a TV screen.
You can watch the footy on it.
You can plug your KO in. And so on the TV screen, it said airways blocked, and then it kind of shows you where the blockages could be. So I cleaned out all the blocked airways.
Yeah.
And it was still no good. Still wasn't working. So I decided to call Dyson on their helpline, and a guy answered. And I told him what I just told you. He said, "No worries, I'm going to talk you through how to fix it."
First of all, did he laugh at you for having a V11 instead of a V15?
He did.
Old school.
So he ended up talking me through how to fix it, troubleshooting. "I'm going to troubleshoot it for you," he said. So we troubleshot it. And then he said, "Hey, can I ask you, how often do you deep clean your filters?" I said, "Mate, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never deep cleaned anything in my life, let alone the
the
filters on my vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, in the morning you're not like, okay, wallet, keys, deep clean the filters. You know what I mean? Like it's not really top of mind, is it?
So I told him I've never deep cleaned my filters, and he said, "Oh, well, I recommend you deep clean them once a month." That's what I do.
Okay, no.
What a loser.
Cool.
What a loser.
You're real fun at parties.
I don't
Hey,
deep
Greg,
clean anything, mate, let alone my filters.
Can you make it tonight, Greg? No, sorry, I've got to deep clean all my filters in my house, man. I don't think I'll be able to make it.
I don't change my bed sheets once a month, let alone deep clean my filters.
That's okay. That's getting a little gross now. That's definitely necessary to change them more often than that, I think.
It's a debate, a big debate. Who will win medallion?
Nobody cares about the Commonwealth Games. I'm saying they do. I think it's a big deal.
The opening ceremony was on last night, Liam. Did you wake up at 2 a.m. to watch it?
I taped it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it's on Chase Play.
You said yesterday, and I quote, "Oh, they on, are they? You didn't even know they were on. You didn't even know they were coming up."
No, because I was too busy concentrating on where it's going to be in 4 years' time, thinking, oh, I hope it's back here soon.
I find it funny that it goes under the radar so much. Like, Neighbours would have had more viewers than
Oh,
it.
look, to be fair, it is. Look, I'm debating that the Commonwealth Games is great. It's a trickier debate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trickier debate. I'll give you that. So we're both going to have an allotted time each. We go head to head.
Yep.
Ben, you're saying that nobody cares about the Commonwealth Games.
30 seconds on the clock. Do you even know what the Commonwealth is, Liam? It's just all the old countries that Britain invaded in the olden days and killed all the locals. The Com Games have more blood on them than an angry Peter member standing outside the Melbourne Cup. Usain Bolt, Kathy Freeman, Stephanie Rice, icons who all made their name at the Olympics. Now, can you name me 3 stars who made their name at the Com Games? You can't. The Com Games is such a big waste of time. If my future child ever made it to the Com Games, I wouldn't even bother showing up to support them. It's being held in Birmingham this year. Where even is that? The Queen doesn't even care about them, so why should we? She hasn't rocked up for the last 2. She just sent old racist Philip, R.I.P.
Well, the Queen's been a bit sick, so I don't think
Not for the last
you
8
can
years.
use that. There's a flu going around at the moment. Like, people have a lot of head colds around
8 years ago.
July. Yeah.
All right, 30 seconds on the clock for you, Lamb, whenever you're ready.
People love the Com Games. Who can forget when Usain Bolt broke the 100-metre world record in Beijing?
This is the Olympics.
No. Oh, yeah, maybe it was. What about when Simone Biles won 5 medals in
That
Rio?
was also the Olympics.
Right, what about when Stephen Bradbury snaked gold in the ice
was
in
the
2000?
That was the Winter Olympics.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was the Winter Com Games. Anyway, the Com Games have given us so much over the years. Who doesn't love staying up to watch Bermuda and British Guyana in the badminton? Exhilarating. Plus, the Olympics sucks. Who cares about those other dumb, tiny countries like China, India, and America? I want to watch Newfoundland and the discus. There's a population of 500,000.
Is that the real place, Newfoundland?
Yeah, above Canada.
Wow, okay. All right, look, we have decided with the big debate to sack the jury. And we're going
To be fair, they're all hearing about that now as well.
Yep.
We had them on the line and we were like, yeah, look, we always have the jury. And, we love them and they're great, but
we want you to be the
broaden
deciding
it
vote.
out. So you can text in 0400 919 919. Who do you think won the big debate? Was it Ben saying that nobody cares about the Commonwealth Games, or was it I, Liam, saying that we should care and it's a great thing?
All right, let's find out who won the big debate.
Okay, producer Bell joins us now. People have been getting in their text to 0400 919 919. Do we have a winner? Is it Ben or is it myself?
I'm just going to refresh the text line once more.
All right, are we doing
Okay.
like a percentage or
I will give you a
votes
percentage.
total?
I can get a percent from here
Okay.
on this. So, the winner coming in with just a slim 55%
Whoa.
is Ben.
That was a debate, a big debate. We now have the winner.
To be fair, I was pushing it uphill this morning. Like, I drew the short
Yeah.
straw. Producer Bell, the Love Rat, got an interesting story for you. Do you remember Neo?
That's the reason I'm so sick of love songs.
Absolutely.
Used to wear a fedora, sort of tipped down on one eyebrow.
That's right.
Very cool look. Well, Neo has remarried his ex-wife, Crystal, 2 years after their divorce.
That's sweet.
That's not sweet. That's annoying.
It's expensive is what that is.
That annoys me that you would make the decision to get married, then make the decision to get divorced, which is fine, but then to go, no, we were wrong twice. We're going to get remarried. Make up your mind.
Okay, well, hey, each to their own. If they're happy, they're happy. Yes, like you said, it would be expensive. I don't think he's worrying about that, though.
Yeah, you reckon Neo's loaded?
Well, I must admit, I didn't think so, but pretty lush wedding. I mean, they filled the whole rooftop of the Las Vegas World Complex in more than 10,000 red roses and ordered an 8-foot-tall cake with 4 different flavours.
Whoa.
I didn't realise Neo was 4 flavours rich.
No.
I thought he was more of a 2 flavours.
I reckon he's
kinda.
4 flavours in debt. I reckon that's what it is.
Absolutely. Do you have to buy him a second wedding present? Been there, done that.
No, you do it all again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you do it from scratch, yeah.
Oh, hey, mate,
No.
it's not my fault you guys got divorced.
Yeah.
They got that wedding present, 4 years ago.
I'm with you.
No.
13-24-10. Did you get back together after being divorced with someone? We'd love to hear from you. Jess, your uncle did this.
Yeah, so he was married to a lovely English lady for a good 20 years. They had a daughter together, and then they were living in England, and then they fell out, split up, divorced. He moved back to Australia, and then I think it was a good 5 years later, 5 to 10 years later, he went back to England to visit his daughter, and they rekindled things and got remarried, and they're living in England together. The daughter's had a little girl as well, so they're one big happy family.
Wow.
That's nice. It just seems like a lot of paperwork, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To go through all of that, and, you get this and I get this, and then you're just all back together again.
It just seems turbulent to be like, I love you, let's get married, and then I hate you, let's get divorced, and then, no, actually, I do love you, let's get married again.
Well, hey, if it's their soulmate or true love, then sure.
I reckon it's
No
just
amount of
indecisive,
paperwork.
that's what it is, I reckon.
Darlene, your brother got back with the divorcee?
Yes, he did.
What happened?
Yes. Well, they got married in about 1987 and got divorced about 10 years later, I think it was. And then they were divorced for about 15 years and then they got back together.
15
and
years.
I think it's amazing.
At a certain point, they were divorced for longer than they were actually married.
Yeah.
And then, they've been together since after that.
Is it just a matter of you finally, 15 years later, you've changed a bit, you've grown up a bit,
Well,
you
15
realise,
years,
hey, we are compatible.
you're going to live a whole life in that 15 years, really. You'd have so many stories to share.
You're a different person.
Yeah.
Mark, last one here. This was you. What happened?
Just pretty much as we met online.
Yeah.
Then we just we stayed together for about 9 months, had a good time. She had another daughter with somebody else. So in that 9 months, I was in the state. I was in Sydney. She was in Adelaide.
Yeah.
So I was flying in and out every weekend just to see her and her child. We broke up after 9 months due to just stability and etc.
Yeah.
And then pretty much we didn't speak for about 6 years. And then I reconnected by sending her a message on her birthday, and then I flew down and we got back together, and now we're happily engaged with 2 children.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Wow, it all worked out well in the end. So
It all worked out well, yeah, absolutely.
well, all that from a Facebook notification, and you going, I might try my luck here. 6
Yeah.
years. Yeah, why not? Roll
We
the
got
dice.
way more calls for that than I thought we would, I'll be honest.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
See, it is beautiful, Ben.
Doesn't mean it's beautiful.
Maybe your parents spell.
No, they're far gone.
You never ever know. We are joined now by our producer, Belle.
Hey, if you're single and looking for love at the moment, your pet might actually be the reason to make or break you finding a partner.
Okay.
My first question, though, to you guys, how did you meet your partners? You didn't meet them online, did you?
No, I met mine at the club, at the nightclub.
Old school.
Yeah.
I was also at that club that night, but I didn't have as much luck. There was 2 friends who were dancing with, actually. Ben married one, and I can't even remember the other one's name, but we never spoke after that night.
You met your...
Linna.
Okay.
Linna. Want to go to dinner, Linna? You know what? I probably said that, and she went, okay, see ya.
Well, I met my partner Luke on Tinder, and I've seen this study about just people's profiles on dating apps and what can help or hinder you finding a partner. And actually, a study has shown that about 50% of people admit that profile pictures including someone's pet makes them more attractive.
Really?
Well, I mean,
'Cause
especially if you're big into the animals, I suppose.
Yeah, obviously I love animals, so I feel like that probably would be a positive. But then I feel like a lot of people might look at that and go, that hinders the relationship because the pet might weigh him down.
True, that's true. Well, it's 50%, so
Okay.
one in every two.
Because I suppose there's a bit of, there's furry baggage coming with that person.
But they've also ranked the best and worst pets to have, just owning and also featuring in your pictures to make people swipe on you.
Okay, we're talking like specific breeds of dog, or we're talking all
just
animals?
Just all animals. So, look, this is no surprise. Coming in for the most matched pet is dogs.
Yep.
That'll get you the most amount of swipe rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's got 75%. And then coming in next is cats, if you've got a cat.
The big
Also-
two, some say?
Yeah, I would say, they're the big ones in the pet world. I would be surprised if you're like, guinea pigs, guys. People find them really sexy.
This is where it turns.
Yeah.
Number 3 is rabbits.
Wow.
I suppose rabbits are kind of cute, but they are technically rodents, right?
I mean, how many people...
Here's what they're technically.
How many people on Tinder are posing with their rabbit?
Well, that's the thing. Maybe
Yeah.
you need to get a rabbit and start posing.
I would rather see someone maybe just holding a pet than having their shirt off at the beach or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of like, oh, well, at least, you know.
What I hate is you'll see, like when I was back on Tinder back in the day, was swiping and there was, a guy with his lovely puppy, oh, my dog's my life. And then the next slide would be him holding up a dead fish and he'd be like, yeah, took the head off this one. I'm like, well, that's just contradicting.
I was at a mate's house yesterday and he had a couple of new pets. He had an albino, like carpet python.
Yeah, I don't reckon that'd get you many clicks on the old Tinder.
And he had a couple of sand lizards. And I was like, where are they? He said they're hibernating, so they dig themselves into the dirt.
Thrilling.
Yeah, I know.
Well, hey, on that, actually, let me give you the least attractive pets to have.
Yep.
Snake.
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
yeah. You're not swiping on the snake.
Yeah.
Rats. And number 1, if you own a crocodile.
Yeah, right. I remember using Tinder when Ben and I were on a work trip once in Mount Isa, regional Queensland. And I was just swiping through, and I think the first photo was a woman who'd slaughtered a warthog, and that was her sort of main profile picture. So I super liked her, and we got along like a house on fire. Producer Belle also joins us. We've asked people to get in touch with anonymous questions. You can remain completely anonymous, and we said we'd answer everything. So I believe we have a few, Belle.
I've picked out 5.
5?
Yes.
Okay.
And are they like kind of awkward things, or?
I think so. A few of them will be awkward.
What do we got, Producer Belle?
All right, first question. Do you ever listen to other radio shows?
Definitely.
Yeah, you got to. Sometimes we even have meetings where we listen to the other live shows.
And we all sit there and like,
we
listen.
critique them.
I almost consider it like work. Like I flick around the dial to see what other people are doing, like what competitions
You
they're
definitely
doing.
listen with critical ears. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you're like, well, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, that's good. Or, you know, whatever.
Okay, all right, next question. Who did you guys vote for in the election?
Who did we vote for?
That seems a bit...
Now we're getting political.
Yeah. Hey.
We're notoriously not political people. What I'll say is...
Should we say, because I don't know who you voted for, and I'm assuming you don't know who I voted
Yeah,
for.
okay.
Should we, so we don't
Yeah,
copy each other,
yeah,
should
yeah.
we say on 3?
Yeah.
Bill, you go
Okay,
1, 2,
yeah.
3. On 3, let's say
No,
it.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say the name of the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Liberal.
Labour. Oh! Okay. Obviously someone's looking after his tax thresholds on that radio money.
Yeah, right. Okay, next question. Do you guys honestly ever get sick of each other?
I mean, I'll answer first. I would say no. I don't know. But, like, it's, like, to be honest, I think we've done a very good job at all of it. We've never had a big fight, like, ever, genuinely. But there is sometimes on Fridays where I can tell Ben's getting a little cranky and I know we need to get the job done quick and get out of there.
Yeah.
Because we've spent enough time with each other that week.
It's genuinely like we are in a 10-year relationship and we know each other so well. Like Liam knows me so well that he can tell when I'm getting angry, so then he just gives me more space.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you guys sometimes go for dinner and stuff on the
Oh
weekends.
yeah, no, we enjoy.
yeah.
We're going out this weekend. Like we enjoy we are friends. That's the other thing.
And
Like,
the thing is, I think we're such good friends that you can, like, with a long-term partner, you can actually have an argument, but then you just get on with life.
Yeah,
it's not like,
for sure.
you said that, like you get on with it.
All right, this is my personal favourite question. How much did you pay for your house?
which one? No, I'm joking. I've got one house. Ben's got 2.
I bought a fixer-upper, and I did a lot of work. So did my wife, Sam. I paid $690,000 for a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
It's a semi-detached cottage.
Mine was about 100 more than that.
So in the 700s?
9?
High 7s.
High 7s.
Yeah, right. Okay, must be nice. All right, final question.
We didn't pay cash. we took out a loan.
I'm still going to be paying it off in like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Final question here for your Ask Me Anything. What is the worst interview you think we've ever done?
Easy.
Oh, wow.
Osher
Yeah.
Ginsburg,
Yeah,
a.k.a. Andrew G.
Got no time for that guy.
He was horrible to us.
No, we've interviewed him like 3 times. He's been so rude every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And for me, probably Paul Rudd last year.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
That sucked.
We were both so excited. Like Paul Rudd, you know Paul Rudd, 40-year-old virgin. He's in so many iconic movies. We're both massive fans. And then we had our hearts broken because it was a terrible interview.
It was on a Sunday night.
Yeah, we came in at Sunday at like 10 p.m. because of the American time and had to like record it all. And I remember the interview wasn't going well, but then I kind of was asking a question at the end. To be fair, it wasn't really a great question, but there was this, it felt like maybe an hour before he responded. Have a little listen.
It was the longest awkward pause.
People in like regular life have hall passes who are in the movies, but if you're in the movies, it kind of doesn't work like that. You can't say, oh yeah, mine is Jennifer Aniston, and then your wife's like, well, you worked with her on Wonderlust, so that we're not going to let that happen here.
Are you waiting for a reply? To be fair, you didn't ask him a question.
Yeah, but I was hoping you'd be like, yeah, like, oh, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I thought he'd go along with it, not just like look at me, like into my soul, and I'm like, I'm sorry for offending you, Paul Rudd. I didn't mean to. Found this really interesting. Studies come out, 1 in 5 adults in Australia don't want to have kids. Do you want to have kids, Ben?
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's the plan. Next year, right?
Yeah, I'd say hopefully next year.
Yeah. I've always just never thought of a world with not
Without
having kids. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
always thought it's something I'd like to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not even like, I feel like some people say, oh, you don't have to have kids. I know I don't have to have kids.
I want to. Yeah,
I would like to have
I'd love to.
a child carry on the legacy I've created. And they will grow up to be a little radio broadcaster.
Where would Australian radio be without the bloodline of Ben Harvey? That's you got to ask yourself that.
Yep. And the dairy farm industry.
Oh yeah, producer Bell. I think you do. You'd like to have kids.
Yeah, I think so. In a fair few years, though.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's in the plans. 13, 24, 10. Not having kids. Maybe sell us on it. But I've never even really considered a world without wanting to have kids.
If it's 1 in 5, that means 20% of people listening right now don't want to have kids. That surprises me.
Maybe if you're in that later life period where you've been married maybe 20 years, you haven't had kids, and you're just loving it. You're living the life. You're going on flashy holidays, and you just thought, we've definitely made the best decision. 13, 24, 10. Not having kids. Julie joins us now. How old are you, Julie?
I'm 49, thanks, guys.
49, and you don't want any kids?
No, I made the choice very early in life.
How early are we talking?
Yeah.
Look, I think every woman gets a bit clucky, but around 37, I decided not to have children.
And so what were the deciding factors?
I did raise or help raise my ex-husband's children for 10 to 12 years.
Okay.
And I think that's the best contraception any woman needs.
Yeah. Because then, even though some people might go, oh, well, you did raise kids, but I'm like, I think it's different though.
Yeah, it's
maternally,
different.
like if you raise, like you've got your own bloodline continued.
And so obviously, I mean, maybe back, like now it's kind of like, whatever. But like back then, I don't know, your family, were they kind of like, what, Julie, you can't do that. You need to have kids. Was that kind of the feeling?
Oh, there's always the commentary of why haven't you had children and, the family pressure. But my mother always said, when you're young and silly, you have children. When you're older and wiser, you know better.
So at least you held out a little bit. And so you don't have like any regrets at all. You're super happy at this age.
Yeah,
So glad I never did that.
So glad I never did that. I get to travel. I get to do what I want. I don't have to worry about paying for children's school fees.
Yeah.
It's been, I don't regret it at all.
Are you well travelled? Like you said, you get to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I've travelled all over the world, scuba dived all over the world.
That's cool.
Yeah,
You're
got
still
my skydiving
only a
license
couple
in
of years
Vegas.
during COVID. Apart from that.
Yeah.
But even...
Yeah, definitely.
You can't take your kids scuba diving.
No.
You can't train them up.
Yeah.
Right.
Who would want to?
So what are the other benefits? I mean, you've obviously got a bit more cash in the bank.
Oh, yeah,
You get
definitely
to
the
travel,
money.
But what are the other factors that could swing Ben and I to not having kids? Like, what are the other benefits over the years?
They're very time consuming.
Yeah.
So you don't get much time to yourself.
Do you worry, Julie, can I ask you a question? This is something that I would probably worry about. Do you worry about when you get older, having no one to look after you?
That's definitely probably the main point of contention. But I tell my niece and nephew to be very kind to me because they'll be the ones left with everything when I pass.
Well, I suppose that's the thing. I mean, you got these nieces and nephews, and there's still a lot of friends and people around you that love you, but you're also cashed up.
Yeah.
So I mean, as soon as you hit 85, they are going to be like, "Oh, Julie, can we massage your feet for you? Oh, can we do anything for you? Is the room cool enough for you?"
Liam, my wife Sam is off to spend the next 2 nights to catch up with some girlfriends, and I must admit, you tell your better half how much you're going to miss them while they're gone. But let's be honest, I'm very, very excited for her to be gone for the next 2 days because I am going to be living it up.
Everybody that be living it up, we said what I did. So living it up.
I couldn't get her in that Uber quick enough.
Love you. Have a good trip. Door closed. Ja Rule on. Here we go. Boy time.
I've got it all planned out, okay? Yeah. Today after I finish work, I'm going to the butcher.
Nice.
And I'm going to buy the biggest ribeye steak they've got.
Yeah, man.
And a rack of ribs.
And guess what? Not a single vegetable on that plate.
No thank you.
No salad for me. Unnecessary.
That is dinner sorted for the next 2 nights. I'm having steak the first night and I'm having ribs. Then I've downloaded 2 movies, one for each night, that I've been trying to watch, but Sam never wants to watch them. I got Fury, the Brad Pitt war movie. You know the one?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And I've got The Big Short with Ryan Gosling, because I don't know, I think she thinks like the stock exchange would be boring, but I think it looks pretty good.
Do you know, it's so funny because you said to me, hey, have a little think of what you do when Sarah's away, what you sort of do, and I was like, yeah, right, I'll have a bit of a think. And I've written down something on this screen in front of me. What does that say? That's pre-written, obviously.
Big old steak, no veg.
and then it says, and too many weeknight beers and sporting documentaries that wouldn't normally get up.
Well, look, Liam and I have very similar plans, but I'd love to know yours on 13 24 10. When your partner's away, how do you play?
Taylor, when your partner's away, how do you play?
When my partner is away, I curl my hair before I go to bed and I'll fake tan during the week.
Oh, so it's just a bit of me time. Just sort of, you don't have to worry about them complaining about the fake tan stinking a bit or getting the sheets all dirty.
I get the fake tan, but then with the curling of the hair, does it just take up too much time and you need like a couple of hours, or why do you do that while they're away?
I need to concentrate.
Yeah.
So I need time to, that looks good, because he always says, it looks good.
Well, it does,
looks fine.
I get that from his side of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. My favourite's when we're in a big rush for something. Like we've got I'm like, hey Sarah, you cool to leave in 10 minutes because literally you've been getting ready for some time now. We got to go. Yeah. And then she busts out the curler. Then I'm like, why are we curling now?
I always love when they can't decide between, like, say, 2 pairs of shoes, and they go pick one, and then you pick one, and they go, like you picked the wrong one.
Well, you knew which one. Or if you're not convincing enough about it, then they go, well, you don't even care about which shoes they wear, and you go, you might be onto something there.
Thanks for that, Taylor. Dan, when your partner's away, how do you play?
Yeah, when the misso takes the squids away, so it's a double shot. I get to head down to the shed with some whiskey and cigars and go and tinker with lawnmowers, man.
Go and tinker with the mowers.
A bit of whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Couple of cigars.
Dad's night in.
You got a couple of Scott Bonner lawnmowers, Dan? What are you working with?
Yeah. I've got a Qualcast, a couple of Scott Bonners. Right on lawnmower.
I feel like my chest hair grew.
Yeah, I know. You got to be careful with those cigars near all that 2-stroke petrol and stuff as well in your garage.
Ben and Liam is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.